We see news out of Philadelphia about how successful their decriminalization project has been. We see news out of Colorado with tens of millions of dollars in tax revenue being generated. So much tax revenue, in fact, that the Colorado Constitution requires them to pay it back to their citizens. We see across the boards a drop in things like suicides amongst young men and especially veterans in medical marijuana states. We see a drop in fatalities related to opioid prescription abuse in medical states. Denver has witnessed a 15% drop in violent crime across the board. Is that because marijuana has been legalized? Maybe, maybe not, but it certainly has not been the type of result that a lot of the naysayers, a lot of the prohibitionists had us led to believe. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly where we all come in, each and every one of you. You know, one of the things that Representative Gainey is going to be talking about in a little bit is the importance of educating people on this subject. There is so much mythology that is out there. Our bill, Senate Bill 3, a medicinal marijuana bill, it wasn't the perfect bill, but it passed the Senate 40-7. It passed the Senate with 80% support, and that reflected the 85% support across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. That bill went into a committee chaired by Representative Matt Baker from Tioga County. Representative Matt Baker doubled down on his opposition to this bill, called expert witnesses to testify about things like the gateway theory, had expert witnesses and had witnesses testify that, for example, NORML's goal was to legalize heroin and crack cocaine, and just fed into one absurd stereotype after another and simply saying, well, as far as I'm concerned, if the FDA hasn't weighed in on this, I will not let that bill move out of my committee. Now think about that for a second, ladies and gentlemen. Here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, where we have elect our representatives, one man stood in the way of a medical marijuana proposal moving forward. But fortunately, we had some people in Harrisburg that were not going to let that happen. There was some backdoor wrangling. There was some attempts to file a discharge resolution to force an up or down vote on the House floor. And right now, the bill is in a working committee with Republicans and Democrats, senators and representatives in Harrisburg who are really working hard to get something done. So I believe, and again, Representative Gainey is going to tell you a little bit more about this, but I believe that we are as close to a medical marijuana bill here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania as we have ever been. Will it be a perfect bill? No, it is far from perfect. Home grow? Forget about it. Smoking? Not a chance. Edibles are not even in the bill that we're hoping to get passed. But the bill would provide for vaporization. It would provide for tinctures, oils, and extracts. And it would create a framework in which Pennsylvanians can apply for licenses to have grow operations, to have processing operations, and to have dispensaries. Now, that sounds pretty good, except what's happening in Harrisburg right now? Well, some in Harrisburg think that a model based on an extremely limited number of grows and dispensaries is appropriate. And, ladies and gentlemen, think about it for a second. How long does it take you to drive from Pittsburgh to Philadelphia? That's a 5-hour drive. We have 12.5 million people in this state, and one of the bills that has been proposed would create 5 medical marijuana organizations. 5. For the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So that's the type of detail that we're at, ladies and gentlemen, where we still, as advocates, even though we're not getting the perfect bill, even though we're not getting smoking and edibles, we're still getting something that can benefit tens of thousands of Pennsylvanians. One estimate put the number of potential eligible patients at almost 220,000 here in the Commonwealth. That is a serious number of people that we stand to benefit, even if we don't have the perfect program. And seeing what's going on in Harrisburg right now, I can tell you that we have to see this fight through to the end. A lot of people have said, this is ridiculous, blow it up and start over from the beginning. What we can say is that the amount of time and effort and sweat equity put in by our representatives, by our advocates, by our fellow grassroots advocates, that's simply not an option. If we fail, if this thing doesn't pass, because it's just not going to happen, we know that we fought the good fight. But I believe that it is our responsibility as the Pittsburgh chapter of the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws to advocate on behalf of these sick Pennsylvanians as best we can. And right now, Senate Bill 3 and whatever is coming out of the House is the best chance that we have to help sick Pennsylvanians and to prevent an exodus of sick people from Pittsburgh or from Scranton or from Wilkes-Barre or from Philadelphia going to Michigan, Colorado, Washington, or Oregon just for the sake of having access to this non-toxic and potentially life-saving medication.